There seems to be two broken models on how to do work. The first is purely transactional, so work is just money. You don't expect anything from it emotionally. You clock in, you clock out, you build your actual life somewhere else. And that was the model that I think our parents had. It was honest and it worked on a certain set of terms. The second is follow your passion model. So work is supposed to be fulfilling, identity shaping. You find the thing that you love and you build your career around it, and then everything seems to click. But the problem is that most of us aren't in either one. We're stuck in this weird middle ground. And honestly, I think the middle is the worst place to be, because you can't go back to purely transactional, but because you've already started expecting more from work. Maybe it was your first job where you had a boss that you respected, or maybe a role that briefly used more of your interest. Maybe it's just through consuming enough content that told you work could be different. Whatever it was, you can't unsee it. The idea that work should be more than a paycheck is now in your head and it's not leaving. But you can't get to the passion-led model either, because you don't have the financial runway. You don't have the clarity about what you'd even pursue. You may have responsibilities, a mortgage, maybe kids, maybe aging parents, or a life that requires your current income and doesn't give you the mental bandwidth to reinvent yourself on top of everything else going on. So you kind of sit in this awkward middle, unable to commit to either side. You don't want to be purely transactional, but you're unable to find alignment. You want to have some sort of satisfaction from your job, but you can't seem to go for anything else because of financial commitments or whatever it is. And I think the reason you haven't found the perfect balance yet is because nobody in your life has ever given you a third option. And that third option is structural. It's the realization that income and meaning don't have to come from the same source. You can keep the job or a version of it as the thing that generates income, but you can also build meaning and work on the things that really matter to you somewhere else entirely. Basically, you have to stop asking one structure to carry both. But the caveat to this is obviously you can't work in traditional employment structures, because we all know the 9 to 5 takes up way too much of anyone's time to be able to even think about giving their mental or their physical to anything else. So what I figured out is I have to change my income structure so that my skills are earning me more for less time. And that might look really different for different people. For me, it means that I have various income streams that allow me to have more flexibility, allow me to earn a decent living, but also give me time to pursue passions and other projects in my free time. And this concept is basically called building your own personal economy. And it's what I help people do inside of my coaching. Because if you've been stuck in the middle for years, it's not because you're not smart enough to get out of it. It's because you never had that third option, because it does take some thought, because it requires really deliberate design on how you structure your income around the life that you want to live. And it really does depend on your specific skills, your specific financial picture, and what you actually want the next 10, 15 years of your life to look like. So if you're sitting in the middle right now, the way out isn't picking one of the two broken models. It's designing a structure where you don't have to pick at all. Rather, you mix and blend them until you get the right combination. Honestly, once you find the right combination for you, you won't go back.